Hello and welcome to a report on the Singapore Open 2022, the quickest 400. Unheralded Singaporean runner Calvin Quek clears house of the entire 4x400 meter Philippine squad. So before we continue, just remember to click that subscribe button to www.youtube.com Pinoy Athletics 20 for more information on athletics, Southeast Asian athletics, news, reports, analysis, training, and tips and insights. YouTube.com Pinoy Athletics 20. Click the subscribe button. Now, moving into the Singapore Open, it began off well for the Philippines in the heats, in the 400 heats, where everybody doesn't exert all their energy in the Singapore Open 2022. The four Filipino runners who were entered in the 400 meters, they got the first, second, fourth, and fifth place, with Calvin Quek tucked in between in third, tucked like a sandwich between Del Prado and Ramirez and Labita and Medina. He was kind of like the meat in the sandwich, like in the heats. Now, 48-65 in the first heat by Del Prado, Ramirez and Quek were all bunched up in that second heat. While in the first heat, Labita and Medina are a little bit slower with 49.5 and 49.8. 9 athletes, eight of 9 qualified through the final. Only one guy didn't make it through to the next round, which I've had before when I ran at the New Zealand National Championships back in 05. There was 9 of us and one guy didn't make it through, but we still had to run heats anyway. Because if you have a 9th guy, that still forces, heat of 5, heat of 4. All right, so I'm just going to play the videos now of the 400 heats, which I do have hold of. Firstly, the first heat won by Labita. I will just play. I'll just play that one. Okay, I can open up video files. I will share the video file with you. Okay, so this is the first heat. So that's the first heat with Medina on lane 3 from the Philippines, and in the purple, Medina of the Philippines on the outside lane. Just going to share the other video now. So this heat was won by Michael Del Prado with Ramirez and Quek bunched up. Now back to our main presentation. So the interesting thing was that men's 400 final, which was won by Calvin Quek, who had just made a huge personal best of 48.25, beating all the Filipino members of the 4x4 present, Ramirez, Labita, Medina, and Prado. So Ramirez came second in 48.51. Labita was third in 49.99. Looking at this video, it looked like the Filipino runners went out a little bit slow that first 200, and Quek really got away from them at the start. I noticed that Frederick Ramirez was trying to run Quek down that last 100 meters, but Quek was just too far ahead by the time they hit the 300-meter mark. I'll now play that video to demonstrate what I actually mean by that is looking at the analysis of the video.
Philippines. In lane 3, Calvin Quek representing Singapore. Lane 4, Carlo Prado from the Philippines. Lane 5, Frederick Ramirez from the Philippines. Lane 6, Alhryan from the Philippines. Lane 7, representing Singapore, have Hui. And in lane 8, Frederick Ramirez from Surf Athletics.
So yeah, as I can see, all 8 of the runners actually did start in this race, and Medina and Del Prado didn't finish the race. And by 200, the 2 runners for the Philippines have pulled out.
Has been raised once again. It's now at 4.60 meters. And we have Cleveland Long from NUS in his first attempt at the height of 4.60 meters.
Ooh, Calvin Quek! Calvin Quek! So, firstly, Captain Smiley Aguado Alhryan wasn't available for the 400 because he was on Air Force duties. The other question, so he's another member of the 4x4. He wasn't available for this meet because he wasn't able to get out of Air Force duties to join the event. The other question is, what happened to Joemi Sakita? I mean, he ran in the 4x4, but apparently wasn't lined up for the individual 400 meters. I mean, he's had some hamstring issues this year. He was able to run at so he had to skip Baguio. He ran at EMIS, ran 48 something, and then was able to get his time down to 47.84 for the last event in March in Pasig. His PB of 47.26 was done way back in I think it was 2018 or 2019. That's been his PB for the last 4 years. He was able to run 47.84 at Pasig, but at the Singapore Open, he wasn't entered in the individual and ended up running just on a leg of the 4x4, which I will be discussing in a moment. The men's 4x4 results. So the Philippines won. They won the gold. There was only 2 teams there. Singapore only entered their Swift team. Their national team withdrew. So it was just really a 2-man race. So Ramirez, Joimi Sakita. Ramirez actually didn't run. Like, even though his name's listed in the video, you'll see that it was actually Francis Medina, Joimi, Miko del Prado, and Labita who ran, not in that order. I think Labita ran first. So the results are a little bit misleading. They really just ran to win by the looks of it, 3:23.94. It was a really slow 50.98 on average per runner. So it was just a run to win kind of situation. But I will be going into the other Southeast Asian countries standings in the relays next. So these are the SIA rankings in the 400 meters. So we're looking at the 400 meters first. So for the 400 meters, the gold medal was won in 46.56 back in 2000 and was it 2000 and so these are the SIA rankings for this for during the qualification period. So the gold medal of 46.56 was won by Tran Nhat Quang of Vietnam, who's currently ranked second now because the Thais have a new runner, a Thai Australian who's 19 years of age, Joshua Atkinson, who will be running the 4x4 and the 800 at the SEA Games, who's run 46.60. Tran Nhat Quang has ran 46.60, so he's within range of his SEA Games gold, but he'll be challenged by Atkinson. And I'm assuming that Quang and Atkinson will go gold, silver. And Tran Dinh Son, who was the silver medalist last time at 46.68, has already gone under 47 in his recent run at the Speedy Cup a few weeks ago, 46.94. So the 3 guys under 47 is the Thai and the 2 Vietnamese. Also another sub 47 runner, but he hasn't done it this year, is Pachaya Somphunthorn of Thailand, who has ran 46.98. So there'll be a lot of challenge there for Frederick Ramirez, who recently, I think it was in Emus in very windy conditions back in February, ran 47.42. But it will be hard pressed to get in the top 3 against Atkinson, Huang, and Son. And Sun Thunson is looking at building back towards his better time. So that's for the individual 400. It seems the only athlete that's really ranked from the Philippines is Ramirez. I mean, Joimi Sakita, as I mentioned before, has a personal best of 47.26, but that's like about 3 to 4 years back. Joimi Sakita finished 4th at the last SEA Games at 47.73, behind Wang, Son, and Somphunthorn. And now I'm just going to go through the 4x4 lineups for the SEA Games. So the strongest team there is the Vietnamese 4x4 contingent. From these runners, I believe that Wang, Son, and Lich all have personal career bests of 46 seconds. Long Van Tao has a personal best of 47.02. They're not quite in that shape, Lich and Long Van Tao, but Huang and Son are in 46 shape, and new runner Lee Nok Phuc also has run 47.10. So the average time of the Vietnamese is 47.11, and their combined time, so that's the time of the top 4 runners there, Huang, Son, Phuc, and Lich, is 3:08.84, and that's not considering rolling starts, which can take off about, like 3/4 of a second for the second, third, and fourth runner. So that's, they could go 2.2 faster. So 3:08 minus 2.2 for rolling starts gives them a time of about 3:06. And then looking at the next team, the challengers and the silver medalists behind the Vietnamese last time in 2019 are the Thais. They have their new runner pictured here, Joshua Atkinson. Australia, who's run 46.60. Somphumtham has run 46.98 in the last SEA Games. Plinram also has a personal best, I believe, of 46.8 or 46.9. He's run 47.79 in the qualification period. Chamrum of 47.92, and close behind him Chumsri of 47.94. The average time of the Thais is 47.32. The combined time is 3:09.29. So that 3:09.29 minus the rolling start, so what's that? That's 2.25. So they're about 3:07 flat, considering rolling starts. So moving to the next team, the Indonesians. So the Indonesians is the interesting team because they did not field a team at all at the last SEA Games, but now they have been able to produce some more 47-second runners. Quite a while back, if we go back to 2011, Heru Astritano of Indonesia was the SEA Games champion over the 400 meters, and since then the Indonesians have not been able to get a place on the podium in the men's 400 meters. However, Indonesia has always been quite elusive and secretive about their training and their athletes' form, and they haven't had that many competitions, but they have been heavily training for the SEA Games. Back in December, or I think it was November, December, at one of their meets, they had two runners run 47. For all we know by now, these runners may be running. One of these runners may be close to 46 or even high 46 at this point, because this is their form back in November, and we don't have any other recent data which shows us what the Indonesians are currently running in the 400. As these runners have been very secretive about the training and the coaches have kept it under wraps. So, like Ramadan and Sia have both ran 47. Iksan has run 48.06. Halaman Binsar, their 400 hurdlers, run 48.33. He recently ran 52 at the Singaporean Open. The average time of the Indonesians is below 48 at 47.93. That's a combined time of 3:11.74 and minus 2.25 handoffs. It's about 3:09.5. And finally, team from the Philippines, as pictured here, the 47.42 run of Frederick Ramirez. So pictured here, we can see looking through across, so there's Labita with the headband on, Miko del Prado, Joemi, Frederick, Alhryan, and Medina. So looking at the team, like Ramirez and Joemi have both ran under 48. So Ramirez with 47.42, Joemi with 47.78, 48.15 from del Prado, but then there's quite a big gap between Del Prado, Alhryan, and Labita, with high 48s to 48.87 and 48.96, which brings their average time down to 48.05. The combined time is 3:12.22, and with the rolling starts of 2.25, about 3:10 flat is their output time. So looking at the teams, based off the rolling times of the top four runners, 3:06.5 for Vietnam, 3:07 for the Thais. I think it was 3:09 and 3 for the Indonesians, 3:10 for the Filipino quartet. And that is all we have time for. Feel free to share your insights, questions, and whatnot on our YouTube video. Check out our channel for more great videos. That is all we have time for tonight. We will be bringing more coverage of more events from Singapore more videos, more comments, more insights, more analysis as we head into the SEA Games, which will be starting on the 12th of May and runs to the 21st of May in Hanoi, which will be interesting with only 3 weeks left to go. Thanks, everybody. You have a pleasant evening.